Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Beyond Off Topic or Rapid Fire or whatever. Don't just jump like I scared
I was very startled by your intro.
Well, you're always very startled. You're
Yeah, that's fair.
frantic
Easily
man.
scared little man.
You probably know this already, but this is us. My name is Max. That's Brian. That's Andrew. And this is Casey.
Hello.
And we're going to be hanging out answering some hard-hitting questions from our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/IGN or Podcast Beyond or whatever.
Podcast Beyond. Yep.
Also, Gokul Naneswaran says, what are the first things you would do if you won the lottery?
Pay off my credit card debt.
This is a fun thing, is ask a fun question to a group of adults and get very realistic, sad answers.
I would bring back String Thing. I really liked when they used to make that. It was basically like fruit roll-ups, but ropes. And it was long. It was on like I would really bring.
I
those
always
back.
like that you open those up and they look like the Nazca lines. Like,
Yeah.
they look like
I don't even
crop
remember what
circles.
those are.
String Thing. Everybody in the comments knows what String Thing is. All over the land, they love the String Thing.
Casey, do you remember
it's
String?
Way better
Thing?
than your credit card debt.
Well, yeah, I
It
agree
was
with that.
it was like if you had
Like long gushers.
long.
Oh, okay. Okay, and
See?
you pulled them apart?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were great.
I remember.
Yeah,
they
you know
were.
what?
They were
You
really
know-
good.
There it is. There's the
Oh.
String Thing.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
think that's a
Barrett.
rocket or a penis in
that's
the middle. I
incredible.
don't know what that is. That's very spooky.
Yeah, I like that. It's like a cross between a fruit roll-up and a labyrinth.
That's
So
one of the
you-
weaker string things. The earlier ones were almost entirely string. Then later they got cheap in the game and they made flat string things with only some ropes.
So
don't
you'd
think
spend your
that's-
fortune on vintage string things.
No, I would bring the company back entirely. I would bring all the people
Betty
back.
Crocker? Is Betty Crocker
Yeah,
out of
they-
business?
Betty
still
Crocker's still
exist.
alive,
Would
but
you
the
hire
string
all
thing
the
line has
original
been killed off.
employees?
Yeah, I would bring the whole team back.
These like fruit snack factory workers
I'd
who are
bring back
retired.
a bunch of 90-year-old people. I'd be like, "It's this is the time.
We're getting the
Bring it back."
gang back together. Who is this?
We'd make a movie. I would option a film based on string thing. It would be great.
Well,
How
thanks
much
for,
did you win in the lottery?
Enough for this and your credit card debt.
All
So
right.
I never have to hear about it.
Yay.
I heard
I'll see
something
it now.
about.
Now you're not so worried about the
I don't
show.
know why I was
agree.
gonna. If you would have like a realistic answer for that is apparently they have to announce like lottery winners because it's like a state thing. And if you do that, then everyone's gonna be like, "Hey, can I have $5 and I'll bother you?" So like the first thing you do if you win is go and get like a trust set up. So you basically have to. It has to be a secret, and you're like, no one can know, and then you can have your money all to yourself. But also you have to give away half of it.
Do you have to change your last name?
You have to change your last name to String Thing.
All right. Christopher String.
For like $300 million, yeah, that's fine.
Hell yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
Especially so I could go home and eat all those delicious, wonderful string thing that I've now returned back to the market. Thirsty and passionate for them after decades of absence.
What about Gushers?
They're fine. They're out there already.
Do you like Gushers?
Yeah, they're good, but who needs them? We already have them.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
filled
who
with-
needs them?
they're
We already.
they're like filled with juice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
I
they
love them.
gush
Good riddance.
with Urs.
Yeah,
like
Gushers are
those.
great. I like. to
Nobody
leave them
eats
on
at that
the-
restaurant. It's too popular.
I like when you leave a Gushers on the roof of a car for like a good 45 minutes.
Yeah,
you take it
that's
out,
called
it's
a
just
hate
one
crime.
piece and it just looks like. I didn't say a dog. I said,
No, sometimes the bag joins together and it looks like weird like DNA cells.
you pull it out, it looks like Bejeweled. So I love
And
that.
string thing will just turn into a, there they are. String thing will just string thing will just turn into a fruit roll up.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Okay. All right. We got a great question from Jacob Meyer.
Wait, what are you gonna do with the lottery money?
Yeah.
You guys didn't even answer that.
Yeah. What about you, Max?
I said I would put it in the secrets.
In the secret.
I don't
know.
That's
I'd
not
probably
what
pay
would
off
you
my
do
debts.
with it. Like,
Put it
what would
in
you
the
spend it on?
secrets.
I'd probably get like a different house or something. I don't
Okay.
know. Like travel. Probably travel's a good answer. You know.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
I
I have
would
a great
fly to New
place.
Zealand to finally catch that exclusive.
I know a great
Pokemon.
place you can travel, Max.
Where?
The Betty Crocker factory, where our new string
She
thing
doesn't have
wing-
one factory.
our
Don't
new
you
string
undersell
thing
this
wing
woman?
has just been opened.
The works of Betty Crocker are prolific. That woman makes foods nationwide.
We are
Hey,
taking
Casey,
down.
what would you do with the money?
We're taking down the red ropes and we're putting up the red ropes.
I would invest as much as I felt comfortable losing, and I would use the rest to travel, but still work.
When you say invest,
Yeah,
do you
sounds
mean
right.
in hip cryptocurrencies or in old grandfather stocks?
Probably both.
Okay, let's go ahead.
By travel, do you mean you would come to the Betty Crocker factory and enjoy some of our new flavors of string
I would
things?
absolutely come and enjoy your string things, assuming you also won the lottery.
We're
in
doing.
order to do that.
We did. I did. Based on this conversation, we're doing pomegranate. I hope you like that flavor.
Pomegranate is delicious.
Voted the number 15th flavor by children.
That's like a terrible fruit for kids. Hey, do you want your kids to have a fruit that makes it look like there's a crime scene? Well, here you go.
Kids only love low antioxidant fruits.
All right. Jacob Meyer asks, a real good head scratcher. Taco Bell or Canada?
I mean, Canada.
One makes you sick and one has free universal health care. So
Good
I'm going
answer.
with No, in Canada.
Yeah.
Canada's
Well-
a country. I feel like Taco Bell, if it went away, all those people would just work at Chipotle.
Yeah.
And if Canada went away, all those people would come to America and they'd be like, "What are you guys doing here?" And we'd be like, "I don't know." But if you're hungry,
On the flip side, if you're
We have
really
spring
stoned,
thing.
it's a lot of work to go to Canada.
that's true.
Fair point.
That's true. It's actually you can sneak into Canada stoned easily. It's getting back. That's the hard part. You can't come to America stoned. They'll bust you. But you can leave high anywhere.
Do they have like weird? I feel like they might have weird Taco
I've heard.
Bell in Canada. Like they probably they have like ketchup chips and mint Sprite. But like, do they have like a? I don't know. Like
We passed there's a Taco Bell in Shibuya now in Japan, which is weird. I don't know what there is in Canada. Like they're expanding. It's not just an American thing now, but it's just weird to
It'd
think.
be weird
They
to
probably
like.
have Taco Bell in Canada. So would all the Taco Bells get closed in Canada too?
Wouldn't it be weird to like run for the border and like go north?
Yeah, that would.
Kind of stuff I think about.
I think you'd wind up in like Siberia or something.
Yep.
Or Finland.
Oh, dude, I read a news article the other day. It was terrifying. It was about the coldest
News is
place
terrifying.
in Siberia. Did you guys read this thing?
Yes,
that's going
and
around?
everyone's eyelashes were turning into icicles.
Their eyes turn into ice. They only have basically ice to eat. And they interviewed them and they're like, "What do you guys eat all day?" And they were like, "Our favorite." This is real. I've been thinking about this for 7 days straight. They said like our favorite thing to eat is we make macaroni and then we add ice cubes made of horse's blood. And I was like,
What?
"You gotta
What?
eat the tacos.
All right.
I want to
Eat them.
Eat the tacos.
Eat them. Eat them. Wow, they're getting bigger the more you eat them. Please stop eating them. Okay. Here's a good question from Christian Zwick. Read any good books lately? That is a good question.
I don't read nearly as much as I would like.
I haven't had a chance.
I'm weird and I have this weird soft spot for the girl with the dragon tattoo. So I'm reading there's a new one from the new author.
Oh, yeah.
It's
No,
like
he died.
The new
no, that's
author.
what I mean. That's why it's
Oh.
the new author.
Oh, yeah, I thought
because
you
the guy who wrote the original
I
one
thought you
is
meant
dead.
the dead author.
No, yeah, they found it in his grave. He's still producing them. No, he died. So there's someone else who took over the franchise, and I think the new one is the girl caught in the spider's web or something. Anyway,
Well,
I like
this
literally
girl
just
keeps
started.
getting into all sorts of hijinks.
Yeah,
over
she's-
there.
Yeah,
She's having
Elizabeth
trouble.
Salander. She's kind of a 21st century James Bond in a lot of ways.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird, like inverse of like it's a masculine man who goes around and does all the bad stuff. She's like, oh, there's a hacker.
That doesn't happen with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, right.
That'd be weird. No, it's
A
gonna
Song
be
of
like
Fire and Ice.
it's
But
gonna be like George R.R.R. Martin is gonna jump in there and he's gonna be like, my dad always said that this was gonna happen, and also you can't make any shows anymore unless I
Joffrey
said
comes
so.
back to life and rules the world.
No, that guy's gonna live forever. He takes great care of himself.
I'm actually reading Guns, Germs, and Steel, which is a history book about basically why I don't know why people took over the world, pretty much. And pretty much short answer, it's kind of spoiler in the title. It's because they had the guns, they had the germs, and the steel. But it's like really interesting. It's just kind of deep dive on both like kind of political history, but like evolutionary stuff. And I don't know. I used to work at a bookstore, and people would come in and buy these big, huge history books, and I'd be like, "Why would you read that?" And then I would go and drink like a giant half-gallon of Mountain Dew, and now I'm old, and I'm like, no, thank you. I'm going to read my history book. And I'm like, I don't know. It's like a weird thing clicked in my brain where I suddenly am really interested in nonfiction. So, Casey, what about you?
I joined a book club recently, and I should be reading Pachinko, and I'm not. I'm playing Monster Hunter.
Well, I'd ask you what Pachinko's about, but you're not reading it, so there's
I'm
that.
sorry.
Well, that's like a
I barely
running
read
theme.
the emo thread that I'm in. That's about it.
Isn't that okay
I'm
in a lot of
bad.
book groups? Like you just skip the book and then you show up and you
I
just
have a
talk
month.
gossip.
Okay, guys,
an
I have a
excuse for
month to
wine.
read it.
Like that's the big secret is that like, oh, it's the book club is actually about wine.
It's about lunch.
As long as
Lunch.
it's not a scary
lunch
poetry
book
writing
club.
club where people get murdered. Don't do that.
I hope not.
All right. Jalen Matthews says biscuits versus toast versus cornbread for breakfast.
Biscuits.
Ooh, well,
Yeah, I'm with you.
for breakfast
Yeah. Are
we
specifically,
Oh man,
I feel like I wake up and just for breakfast. I feel like I just want toast. But I feel like as a food item, like right now, I would much rather have cornbread than toast or biscuits.
cornbread with some jam and some butter
Yeah.
and some bacon, and then you have a completely different breakfast besides that.
But biscuits with those things. But biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits are kind
Yeah.
of biscuits and gravy is a meal on its own. That's
Yeah, that's
Biscuits
why I
and
don't
gravy
think
is
of-
not a meal. Biscuits and gravy is an excuse to not do anything for 3 days.
I also think
When I eat I ate biscuits and gravy at breakfast like 2 months ago, and I literally did not move or eat or do any. It was like 14 full hours where I
are
was
those
just like,
like breakfast food? I've
Yeah.
never,
Yeah.
I totally don't
Like
think
soul
of biscuits.
food,
and
yeah.
gravy.
Okay, I actually found out recently that California doesn't have Cracker Barrel, and I'm
Yeah.
very upset about that.
we do,
Right.
but it's a brand of cheese.
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's
that is not
bizarre,
biscuits
yeah.
and gravy.
No.
Who would pick toast? What kind of boring ass?
For breakfast specifically, I 100% pick toast.
I mean, so,
Toast?
yeah, I mean, if we're talking like an everyday thing, this is
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, like what like clothes do you want to wear for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
And you guys are being like, I would like to wear a tuxedo every day.
Yeah,
Well, that's gonna get uncomfortable.
Hey, you gotta eat the cornbread.
I'm
Nom 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 nom.
Oh,
no,
God, it
flew
went
out
in
of
your
my mouth.
eyes and then your ear.
Don't talk while you're eating. You spit food everywhere.
I think I don't hate cornbread, but I think it's the loser in this list. you
What?
know?
I like cornbread. I just think biscuits for breakfast are better.
Biscuits for breakfast? There's also a
Biscuits for
horrible question. Brian and I are both not eating carbohydrates this month.
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh, I'm
Count
really
of-
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not eating grains. I'm eating
well,
carbs.
Miranda Sanchez, who's been on the show before, she on her Instagram posted that Oreo O's are back.
Oh, I saw that.
And I was like, well, I was thinking like a real good martini when I finished this stupid Whole30 thing, but I'm now gonna do a really good martini and some Oreos, and I'm throw up probably.
I'm not doing Whole30. I'm not that intense, but I'm doing dry January, and I'm just like eating better in general. And oh my God, I just cannot wait. Like you even saying martini, I'm like, oh, I cannot wait until February 1st to drink. It's all I want in the world.
Yeah, I'm
Why
doing.
don't
I
you
want a
just-
full pizza and some alcohol.
I'm doing licensed cereal February, which is just 3 boxes a day of cereals that are based on existing brands that are multi-million-dollar partnership deals.
That's
Gotta
actually
get that Mario one.
that's a
Yeah, I
great
got a
way
box
to
of that
get
waiting.
lots
Yep.
of prizes and toys.
It's true.
All kinds of trinkets.
Yep.
It's real good.
After that, I'm doing Lunchables March.
I love Oreos because they just look like if I don't know, like if Fruit Loops came from Mordor. Like they're just like terrifying little just black and they look like driveways.
Oh, the cereal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like gravel.
yeah, it's bad. It's back from the 90s.
You know what else isn't back from the 90s that someone should bring back? String thing.
String thing.
You gotta bring
Anyway.
that back.
All right. That concludes our silly time with the questions. That's the camera to point at me when we're ending the segment. Thank you, Barrett. That's the other one that am I looking at the wrong? Where is it? Stop that. Wait, come back. Anyway, yeah, if you have questions for this, either head over to the Facebook group or drop them in the comments below and, subscribe to this Silly Time channel. And thank you for watching. And that's the end. And go out there and support Betty Crocker, America's hero.
She's a great woman, and she's really trying to bring those ropes back.
Betty
over
Crocker's
100
not
feet
possibly
tall.
still alive, right?
Yeah, she is.
I don't think Betty
She
Crocker's
is.
still alive.
She's in ice.
She lives in the midst of a Dewar flask that's kept at thousands of degrees below zero, like Akira.
All right, bye.
I think that's the end, right?
That's the end. It's over.
Finished it.
You can go home.